like to bring this meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners meeting. This is the workshop. I would note that all commissioners are present except for President Lynch and Falona, Commissioner Falona. Okay, I would note that the board did meet in executive session to discuss matters permitted by law, including litigation, real estate, personnel matters, bond settlements, and related activities. And all discussions were informal and not deliberate. All right, we will lead tonight's Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I would ask Commissioner Engel to lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We'll start with petitions and complaints and suggestions. Is there anyone who would like to come to the podium and speak at this time? I would keep your comments to 3 minutes, please. I got one in front of you, sir. Go ahead. Dr. Willis.
Good evening, Tamara Willis, Superintendent of the Susquehanna Township School District. Thank you all for giving us an opportunity just to speak this evening. As you know, we purchased the 42 acres at Stanley Drive, and unfortunately, there has been some hunting that has gone on the property, despite the no trespassing signs. So we wanted to come to the township to make more of a public announcement, so that everyone is aware that the district now owns the property. There are posted no trespassing signs, but we will be posting bright yellow no hunting, trapping signs as well. They will be around the perimeter. We have outfitted the property with cameras, just as we've done all of our school buildings and all the properties that we do own. But we just wanted to make sure that we were saying it more publicly, so that everyone knows not only is it a safety issue for the individuals entering the property, but from time to time we have district staff over there, and so we want to make sure that they are also not in danger by going onto the property. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Great seeing you again. Sir.
You too.
Just to follow up issue of what she just said, is the
Your
property
name,
line
your,
same?
sorry, your name and address.
1813 and 1805 Clayton Avenue, which property is talk about being rezoned.
Okay.
But that's what she said. Is the property line that you have bought, is it marked off that my property runs into the property that you have bought? And like I go 280 feet up the hill. This is the hill. I go 280 feet up over that, which the people do hunt down in there. So it's not on your property if it's on my property.
Correct.
Is it marked off?
It should be, and if it's not, it will be. We'll be painting the trees. Can I sit up?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So we will be painting the trees purple for the perimeter of our property. But unfortunately, we've seen hunting on our property where our cameras are, because we put the cameras around the perimeter.
Okay.
So,
Now the question I have is just when they had posted signs on my two properties about the rezoning of it, can that be explained to me? Really where the school is being built, there's woods between where the school will be built and my residential homes. It has, I'm not, why are they rezoning my property when the school wouldn't probably 150 feet away from it?
So, Mr. Vice President, can I just jump
Yes.
in here? So there's actually going to be a public hearing, this is very loud, where all the public comments on the rezoning will be taken down on the record. So I think you want to save your comments related to the rezoning until we get to that agenda item in a minute.
Very good. Okay.
This is Willie Harmon. A lot of board members, you guys know me. Been here several times. The district is quite aware of me. The attention of the owners on the property was orchestrated and been received by the school district because of comments that I've made on posts, as well as, somebody can't hear me? Okay.
It might be somebody that's.
Okay, yeah, well, a lot of the things that's been happening over at that property, come from the comments that I make on the school district's, posts, as well as other things, and then they react to them. I recently received a citation because I took pictures of the camera and the sign that she put out, and even though I had said the night before that I would be going on the property to take pictures, which is not what their, quote, registered letter addressed me for doing. That's being handled in the court systems currently, so that's all I wanted to say on that, but I wanted to make the board aware that the school district is unaware of what's going on the property. They are just grasping at straws based upon things that I say. Though there is evidence of hunters that's been on there, one of the things that brought that to their attention that they responded to after their town hall meeting with that one of the gentlemen is more like a poacher than a hunter, because he fills his tag and then he comes back and shoots other deer on other people's tags, which is a gray area of poaching according to the fishing games officer that came out to investigate that I talked to also. So while they're taking action, it's based upon things that I'm saying, and because they don't want to work with me on anything, I've pretty much become a clam and haven't said too much more unless it can affect positively in my favor for that property. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else to come before this board? Seeing no one else, we'll move on. It's time to approve the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Vice Chair, I'd like to ask for stay of the approval to the next meeting since we didn't really have enough time to review. Is that the proper way to?
Just a motion to table.
Yeah, like it
Or,
made
well, I said stay, table, motion to table.
Second. It's been moved and second. Any comments? All in favor of the table, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We'll now move on to recognition presentations. I'll ask the Public Director, I'm sorry, Director of Public Works, Todd Webb, please come forward, please.
Nothing yet, but what you're about to do.
Good evening. I'm given the honor this evening to present a proclamation and some words for Mr. Kenneth Hain, who is an employee with the Susquehanna Township Sewer Authority. And after 36 years, Kenny decided that it's time to ride off in the sunset. So, as it reads, very few individuals dedicate their entire professional lives to a single organization. It takes an exceptionally loyal and committed person to serve a township for 36 years, ensuring its critical sewer and stormwater infrastructure remains among the finest. The Susquehanna Township Authority proudly recognizes Ken Hain upon the occasion of his well-deserved retirement. Ken began his dedicated service with the Susquehanna Township Authority on July 10, 1989, has since served with unwavering distinction and professionalism as an integral member of the authority team. Throughout his long tenure, Ken consistently maintained essential credentials, including a Class A commercial driver's license with a tanker endorsement and a Department of Environmental Protection certification in sewer and wastewater management. Ken embodies a spirit of continuous learning, constantly advancing his expertise through specialized training. Ken personally witnessed and successfully adapted to decades of profound technological evolution, seamlessly transforming from legacy paper records to modern-day digital tools. Yet he remains an unparalleled master of the township's physical infrastructure. His keen diagnostic skills have been made invaluable. As Ken himself noted, the most rewarding part of his work was finding breaks and issues with force mains and knowing precisely where lines were located so that repairs could be made quickly. This expertise is a testament to his crucial role in consistently swift service restoration. Rightly hailed as a walking encyclopedia of the Susquehanna Township sewer and stormwater systems, Ken generously shared his irreplaceable depth of institutional knowledge, actively mentoring countless co-workers to improving skills and enhance the authority's operational efficiency. The Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners hereby extends its profound gratitude and highest recognition to Kenneth E. Hayne. His extraordinary 36-year career marked a dedication, professionalism, and a profound legacy of service, has made a lasting, essential impact on our community. Susquehanna Township Authority is a better and safer place because of Ken's outstanding contributions. We collectively wish him a retirement filled with health, happiness, and a well-deserved rest. A grateful community gives its sincere thanks.
We got a check.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Thank you. Thanks for everything.
Absolutely.
Sir, question for you. Can you bring up a code enforcement issue here? Because I have to wait for that too.
For another meeting.
For that another meeting.
That's,
I contacted the code enforcement over 8 months ago, but nothing was ever done about it. And it needs to.
can you,
You
can
want
you,
to see me afterwards?
yeah. Sir?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right. Okay, at this time, we're going to come out of the meeting and go into the public hearing, okay? All right. All right, where do we start here? Okay, column H. Okay, a public hearing, this is to talk about the ordinance amending the code of the ordinance of the township of chapter 27 entitled zoning by amending section 27.3-302.1 and the official zoning map to rezone from the C conservation zoning district to the R-2 medium density resident zoning district. A portion of the properties identified as Clayton Avenue, 1805 Clayton Avenue, did I miss one? 1803, 1699 Stanley Drive, 1833 Clayton Avenue, and 1901 Clayton Avenue as shown in Exhibit A and described in Exhibit B, both of which are attached to and made part of the ordinance. That's at this time the solicitor.
Yeah, I would be happy to take it. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. And I would just like to also add to the record that the properties at issue are identified as uniform parcel identification numbers 62-027-199, 62-027-206, and 62-027-121. I believe that's, no, there's two more. 62-026-033 and 62-027-197. The hearing tonight was properly advertised in the Patriot on October 7th and October 14th, as well as the required properties posted on October 10th prior to the public hearing. The ordinance, I believe, has been marked as Township Exhibit 1. The advertisement in the Patriot News has been marked as Township Exhibit 2. The notification letter and envelopes to affected property owners marked as Township Exhibit 3. And then the property posting photographs and maps marked as Township Exhibit 4 and provided to the stenographer. This is now the time and place for the public to provide comments on the proposed ordinance amendment before the board considers taking action on that ordinance. Again, the time limit will be left at the 3 minutes. Raise your hand, we just ask, raise your hand, wait for the vice president to acknowledge you and ask you to come to the podium. We ask that comments are made clearly. The stenographer is taking down a record and cannot record body movements, nods, anything like that. You have to put your comment into the record orally if you want your comment to be heard by the board before they take action or may take action on the ordinance.
If I may, just for completeness of the record, I think there was one other property to be included, 62-027-208, that was on the next page.
Thank you.
Just to have that in the record.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Is there anyone now to come forward?
I own two of the properties that you have owned.
Yeah, so you can come up, but you have to just come back up, identify yourself.
Okay, my name is Stanley Green. I'm a resident of 1813 Clayton Avenue and also 1805 Clayton Avenue. Now, you talk about rezoning, what part of my property? Is this the whole property or close to the property line? What is that gonna do to my taxes or what?
Max hearing.
Here's, let me see, oh, come on up, Matt.
Good evening, Commissioners, Matt Breach, Planning and Zoning Administrator. To Mr. Green's comments, I have a copy of it here I could show you. So if Solicitor Flower thinks it's beneficial, I could give a synopsis of the proposal.
That would be perfect.
If that would be
Yes.
helpful for the benefit of the audience.
Absolutely.
So in addition to what Solicitor Flower noted, I would also like to state that notification letters were sent out to impacted property owners on September 22nd, notifying them of this hearing. So that's just another advertising requirement that was met. So this is a rezoning proposal that would amend the official zoning map of the township to rezone 1699 Stanley Drive, which is the large property owned by Susquehanna Township School District, approximately 42 acres, from the Conservation Zoning District to the R2 Medium Density Residential Zoning District. And with that, 5 properties in the Edgemont area would either be partially or entirely rezoned from the Conservation District to the R2 Medium Density Residential Zoning District. And if I could pull up my map, it is the entirety of the Edgemont neighborhood currently is located in the R2 Medium Density Residential neighborhood, aside from these few properties that either have partial or entire zoning classifications in the Conservation District. So this would bring them into conjunction with the rest of the Edgemont neighborhood. And if you pull up my map, I can show Mr. Green where this would be and answer a few of his questions too. So here's a map, everything hatched here, so that's the Stanley Drive property. Are you?
1813, 1805.
Okay, that one. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can see that there are a few that jut out that are zoned conservation. And this is done because the school district's property couldn't be rezoned alone. It would create spot zoning issues where there's a small sliver of area zoned conservation, while the rest of the neighborhood on both sides is zoned R2, which is not permitted legally. This would not have an impact on taxes. It's just the township's zoning classification. It would bring the properties in the neighborhood, as you can see on the map there, into consistency with the rest of the neighborhood. With the change to the R2 district, you would your properties would be impacted by those regulations. So you would have reduced setbacks if you wanted to build additions or things of that nature. But that's what it would be. You can see there the tiny little sliver of the conservation properties.
Okay, so we talk about between, there's a wooded area between my home and where the school was built at, that goes down into a creek. Nothing would ever be built there. So why would it affect my property? Nothing will ever be built there.
Yeah, so the reason that this zoning change would be made to the property line and not to the middle of the property line is both for administrative reasons and to avoid the spot zoning challenges, like I talked about. So this area here, so say you wanted to rezone just this property, the property line's here, you would then have a patch of, an island, so to speak, of conservation zone land in between two R2 zones, which is not permitted. So that's why this is a part of this proposal.
Yeah, if I may, it doesn't affect your real estate taxes. It doesn't adversely affect you in any way in terms of what you can do on your property, but it's being done because the school district has to have it zoned that way in order to build a school on their 42 acres, and without that rezoning, they can't build the new school, but it's being done in a way that does not adversely affect the property owners, as I understand it. I'm trying to help.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. It's, I mean, day-to-day life, I don't think it is something that would be noticeable. I think, like I said, the only thing you might notice is if you wanted to build an addition, you would be subject to an 8-foot side yard setback as opposed to a 15-foot side yard setback. And, as shown on the map, you'd be in conformance with the rest of the neighborhood.
Well, that's a part of the neighborhood, from the school and my area. From the surface level, it's probably about over 125 foot drop down into the creek. So this one, I was like, why are they so worried about this? Neither side is gonna build back there. This is all wooded, it goes down into a creek. So why do some other residents here, why do we have to rezone? It should be just like this, no one's gonna build there. You can't. It could drop down about 150 feet down into a creek.
Yeah, I think.
That's all I want to ask you.
Okay. I mean, to respond to that, I think it's not so much that the desire is to rezone these. I mean, the desire is to rezone the property owned by the school. Just procedurally, these other properties, these 5 properties, and Edgemont would need to be partially or fully rezoned as a part of this proposal to avoid spot zoning, which as we've outlined, isn't permissible.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
My name is Ivy Gordon, I live at 1801 Clayton Avenue. I have a question.
Hold on, stand by.
Sorry, can you spell your last name?
Corbin.
Thank you.
I live at 1801 Clayton Avenue, and my neighbors and up the street are included in this, but my house wasn't. I'm at the dead end of Clayton Avenue. 1803 is attached to my house.
Okay, do you want to address that, ma'am?
Is mine included in it, or what?
So you were at the end of Clayton here, right?
Yes.
So that is already in the R2 zoning district, and it wouldn't be impacted by this.
It wouldn't be.
No, there's no rezoning for that.
So mine won't get zoned?
Well, it's already in the R2 zoning district, and that's what these properties, if this ordinance passes, would be located in. But you're currently located in that.
Okay.
Matt, just for clarity with the color code, all the yellow is those homes that are R2?
Yes, Commissioner, that's correct.
And where it's green, you're trying to make those yellow. Maybe that's what
Yes,
people understand. That little, chimney there. You're trying to make it consistent with their neighbors.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the entirety of Edgemont is already R2. It's just this little sliver.
Right.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Roseanne Cadau, C-A-D-A-U. I reside at 1948 Deer Path Road in Ward 8. And I'm here to present comments against rezoning. One of my concerns is increased flooding and stormwater runoff. Right now, Lingelstown Road, as everyone knows, when you're traveling on it in a very heavy storm, there's definitely runoff and it's very dangerous. I'd also like to add, I've been a renter since 1993 to 2001, and I've been a homeowner since 2001 to the present. Natural vegetation and permeable soils absorb rainwater, slow runoff, and reduce flood risks. When green land is replaced by impervious surfaces, parking lots, buildings, roads, rainfall runs off quickly, increasing volume and speed of water that's entering streams and storm sewers. Here in Susquehanna Township, the municipal documents note that intensification of storms and runoff are threatening the trail and causing ongoing erosion problems. Also, the township code defines green space and recognizes floodplains and wetlands as part of required open space. There's a local vulnerability. The township lies in a region with older infrastructure. Increased development means more impervious surfaces unless carefully mitigated. We've already seen that with the heavy load on our water and electric infrastructure. Streams like tributaries feeding into larger watersheds, an example, the Paxton Street watershed, may receive greater volume of runoff, which can cause erosion, bank instability, sedimentation, and flooding of downstream property. The consequences, we will absorb that. Property damage from flooding with homes and basements, increased costs for stormwater infrastructure, which we pay every 4 months, loss of natural floodplain, accelerated erosion of trails, and greenway amenities. In the township's comprehensive plan adopted May 2019, it notes the importance of planned mixed-use development, Susquehanna Union Green, which includes 19 plus acres of green space as part of the 59-acre site. This shows that the township does acknowledge the value of green space in planning. If green land is instead developed for high-density uses without sufficient open space, there may be fewer opportunities for recreation or passive enjoyment of nature. And I'd like also to add, with this school situation going on, I am definitely, can I just end this?
Go ahead, end it,
I'm
ma'am.
just not against students having an education or a better school system, just find another way.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Yes.
Hello, Peter Fricky, 3553 Elmerton Avenue. Fricke. Just here to express my opposition to the rezoning proposal. I do not share the view that the property as it currently stands is useless to the township. I believe it adds value to our township. I believe that we are already approaching a point, if we have not already reached it, where many residents feel that we are beyond the limits of our development. I think that maintaining this property the way it is, it serves as a refuge for wildlife. It serves as a refuge for wildlife such as monarch butterflies that are advantageous to the entire community. It serves as a refuge for deer, keeping them away from residential neighborhoods. I live across the street from the high school. I frequently find families of deer sleeping under my kids' swing set at night. It's not a problem to me, but I'm right on Elmerton Avenue, and that presents a problem for the traffic. So, yeah, I'm here to express my opposition to the rezoning. I hope you consider that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you state your name again?
Yeah, I will.
I didn't hear it.
Every last single time I approach this mic, I will clearly state.
Clock's ticking.
My name is Willie Harmon, and as everyone knows, I'm at 2010 Wayne Avenue, and I have been here with the struggle with this property when the city has had it, and I'm here again as the school district is coming onto it. I have new information that was really paid attention at some of my late night investigations. We have the appearance of a recessive gene animal on that property. Now, for those of you guys who are not into genealogy and all of that, white-tailed deer was not the only deer in this area. There used to be white deer. As they were phased out, the white-tailed deer's genes dominated the white deer genes, which means the recessive gene is one where the gene is coming back up again. It's called it's now labeled and called a piebald, that's P-I-E-B-A-L-D, deer. There's one in the area. If the district's allowed to rezone this to R2 and build a school, they're building it right on this deer's thing. A quick search of piebald deer, there are 1 in every 1,000 deer. So we're talking about 1% of it being seen. So I feel lucky to be able to see it, but I feel blessed to be able to say that it's on property near my home where I can view it. I tried to download my trail cam photos of it so that I can have them here to display for you guys tonight, but I'm having a little technological difficulties because I just got the camera and I haven't gotten all of the bugs worked out. But I bring that to your attention because rezoning this is going to allow that, is going to cause basically a breed of deer, a breed of white-tailed deer that has long disappeared to continue to remain disappeared from our area and our lives. And it deserves to be at least, I don't know, guarded, protected in some small way. And I'm not even a tree hugger to be coming at you like this, but unfortunately that is what's going on. What I really wanted to talk to you tonight about was the fact that this is conservation. Now, I do all of my searches on Google, so if anybody's wondering where I get my stuff from, my Google search says conservation land management, conservation zoned land management. And if I could, I'd quote, conservation easements are conveyed by deed have conservation easement.
All right.
Can I submit this article to someone? Or should I just wrap it up? Essentially, it says that it's...
You're done, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, is there any additional comments? Okay, sir.
My name is Jody, J-O-D-Y, Everly, E-V-E-R-L-Y. I live at 2812 Dean Lake. I'm here to speak about this rezoning ordinance. I did a little research, and changing conservation land, rezoning conservation land is very unorthodox. It almost never happens. This is so unorthodox that it kind of raises some red flags. So that being said, I don't understand why this is an all or nothing proposal. This is 42 acres of ground. We don't need 42 acres of ground for a new school, but it seems like we're going to rezone the whole thing. I think there's room for compromise here. A reasonable person could make the argument to turn conservation land into land for a school. That could be made a reasonable argument. What I don't believe is reasonable is turning conservation land into athletic fields or parking lots for roller buses. That is not a good use of conservation land. That's, in my mind, ridiculous. We don't all think that it's useless land. The other thing that I think is going to happen here, myself and a lot of residents are worried that this is going to be a blank check for the school district for unfettered construction. They already have not been able to give us an accurate projection of what this will cost. It's a changing number. We've gone from 100 million down to 70 million. I mean, in my profession, I deal with very large projects, and a $30 million moving target, it's unheard of. So we're really concerned that this amount of land, just giving it to them and say, do what you want with it, is going to be problematic for the taxpayers. Please consider the use of this land when you make your decision. We're not against expansion, we're not against the school. but we're against being taxed out of existence. And that's what our real fear, my real fear is, a lot of other people, is the numbers don't add up on this. The amount of money that they're gonna gain through an EIT is not gonna cover the expense of this. They're gonna have to come up with additional money. So something's gotta give here. Someone has to constrain them. We don't have the ability to constrain them. I'm hoping that you as a body can come up with a compromise and say, yeah, you need a school, but you don't need 42 acres of absolute unfettered construction. Thank you, folks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice President,
Yeah.
if I can just, you're fine to sit down,
Sure.
but if, no, I'm sorry, you're fine to sit down. If we could have the zoning officer return to the podium, because I think based on the last two comments, there's some confusion as to what conservation zoning means. I think that this would be a good point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Solicitor Flower. So this property is located in the Conservation Zoning District. The Conservation Zoning District is the township's least intensive zoning district. However, that does not mean that this property cannot be developed. It does not mean that this property is a protected nature preserve, or anything else of that nature. It is simply the zoning classification of the land. And I think there has been a lot of confusion with that. But there are, other uses that could go there. Single-family homes, in theory, can be built in land located in the conservation district, archery ranges, things of that nature. So, just the property being located in the conservation district does not mean it cannot be developed, and it does not mean that it is, protected in the same manner that a state park or a national forest would be. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Oh, okay, yes. For the solicitor.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Mrs. Iris Harmon.
Miss, can you spell last name?
My first name is Iris, I-R-I-S. Harmon, H-A-R-M-O-N. I'm the oldest of my mother, right here. And we are at the front facing of this conservation property. And if I could just read to you, can you take conservation land out of conservation easement? Because our property front faces right in front of the 42 acres, which deems me really necessary to read this to you. Conservation easements are conveyed by deed, having conservation purpose, are in perpetuity, legal term meaning forever. That's the easement. They require stewardship and monitoring and may only be extinguished by court of law, impermanent, and may offer tax benefits. It's difficult to remove the conservation easement. However, we front face that for the last 50 years. I'm giving easement to my age to those 50 years. Board, I beg you at this point to consider changing part of that 42 acres. I'm not against the school district, and I know we are a landlocked township when it costs our children education, but at the same time, we have to show responsibilities towards the conservation part that has been, even when Harrisburg School District had that property. Again, I'm begging and asking the board to consider partial zoning of this property. The complete property would be a misuse and abuse of the natural resources that we do have. Knowing that Susquehanna Township is a landlocked area, I know and I recognize that we need to give a little, but also we need to conserve what we have. The whole definition of conserve means you have the responsibility and knowledge to make sure that we protect the assets that we do have there. The peace and tranquility that has been in that property, and I do thank you for your time and for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yes, hi, my name is John Austin. I live at 1812 Holly Drive. And I am very grateful to the township. I'm grateful to the public servants of the township. There's one first responder that has literally saved the life of one neighbor on one side and my other neighbor across the street. I'm grateful to you for your guidance and your wisdom of the township, and I appreciate the time tonight. Just real quick, I don't want to repeat anything that's already been said, but my comments, questions, they echo what some people have said, and feel free to respond if you'd like. But I just want to say, this land is unique. It's conservation zone, which may be controversial. It's connected to the greenbelt, and it's home to significant wildlife. Can you name any other parcels in the township that are truly comparable and where they are, if this one is rezoned or taken from us, the natural resources? Has the board evaluated the increased risk of deer and wildlife entering neighborhoods and roadways once their habitat is replaced? And where do we expect that wildlife to go?
To go to fox, coyote.
Yes, there's all sorts of wildlife. And then, lastly, many residents, they value living here because of access to natural green spaces. And if this is approved, where will township residents go to experience a conservation area like this within the township? And I guess I'm just concerned about why remove something that is irreplaceable and contributes directly to our community's quality of life. And I too am not against education for children. But I'm here to better understand. I just want to say, I'm here to speak for residents that couldn't be here and wildlife that couldn't be here tonight. And thank you for hearing me. As I said, I'm grateful for your time and for the work that you do for our township.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Hearing none. Ms. Flowers, is there anything else to come before this public hearing?
If there's no further comments to be taken and the board doesn't have any additional questions or comments, you can close the hearing and move on.
May I ask, if I may, Mac, to address the issue that, to only have a part of the 42 acres rezoned, I was thinking that would be an issue with the spot zoning. Is there a response to that in terms of, and the other question I have, and it may be addressed to Dr. Willis perhaps, in terms of the 42 acres, how much of the land they are expecting to use to build a new school? Because my understanding was that it would only take a small portion of the 42 acres. So I'd like to get those issues addressed because those were valid concerns that were raised.
Certainly, and I'll answer the first question about possible split zoning of the parcel, and then I think I would defer to Dr. Willis or somebody from the school district regarding that second question. In terms of zoning the parcel, zoning half of it R2, half of it conservation. First issue with that I think you run into is the spot zoning concerns, creating unpermitted and illegal zoning islands. And the second issue I see with that, more so from an administration perspective and a planning perspective, is when a parcel is split zoned, there are wonky rules about what side of the parcel gets what zoning classification. It's much tougher to administer, and it's typically poor planning practice to have zoning districts cut right through the middle of parcels. This proposal would clean up errors like that where zoning districts kind of jut in and out of parcels. So I'd say chiefly it would be the spot zoning and zoning island concerns with the those planning considerations being secondary. I'll defer to Dr. Willis on the second question. Thank you.
So in a previous presentation that we had before the Planning Commission, we were able to show the site plan for the actual school, and you are correct. Commissioner Hisrola asked the question? Yes, you are correct. The district will not be using the majority of that property, and in fact, there will be walking paths. We are mindful of the green belt. There will be, and actually this was in the presentation, There will actually be a lot of green space remaining because we don't need all 42 acres for the school. I also wanted to address the shift in the cost of the building that was raised earlier. One of the reasons that there is a shift in the cost of the building, and we mentioned this before, is that we removed those athletic fields that were on the original layout, and so that reduced the overall cost of the project. Those spaces will be green space, so, and that's not on our plan to add those fields back, so there will be plenty of green space, well-lit green space, and we are very mindful of the wildlife there. One nice thing, we also want to preserve some of it for our children to use and learn from.
Could I ask you a question?
Oh, yes, yes.
Would you clarify your point on mindful of the green belt?
Yes, so the green belt runs adjacent to the property, and so there have been, in our chime there are bikers, there are people who like to hike, and so we will also have walking paths for those folks who enjoy the green belt to also use portions of that property as well. So it will be open to the community.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question for Mac regarding the conservation zoning that surrounds this area. Could you give us an approximation of, I mean, looking at this map, this is adjacent to the hospital grounds, I believe, which is going to remain conservation. So when I look at the map, I see this parcel as being a small percentage of this much larger conservation area in terms of support for wildlife and recreation and that type of thing. Am I seeing that correct?
Yeah.
Can I just piggyback, because I was thinking along the same lines, the conservation easement versus the conservation zoning, whether that tells into Gary's comments, and there was a question raised, whether there's a difference there, because I hadn't heard the easements before until the one person spoke about that.
Sure, certainly, I'll address yours first, Commissioner Hisserup. So conservation easement is a mechanism to preserve land, from development and keep it conserved open space. That is not applicable to this property. It's located in the conservation zoning district, but it is not subject to a conservation easement. It is subject to a deed restriction that limits its use to public education facilities. That was applicable to the site when Harrisburg School District was there, and it is still applicable to the site. So that is the only deed restriction, which is functions similarly to a conservation easement on the property. And to Commissioner Rothrock's question, yeah, that is a huge conservation area. I don't know the acreage off the top of my head. Directly to the west of it and to the north of it, there is still a wooded area on both sides of State Farm Road. The state hospital grounds are also zone conservation, and those, I would say in comparison to this site, this site isn't open to the public. It's fenced off on all sides currently. The state hospital grounds, the greenbelt runs through it. There's more opportunity for public engagement with that conservation zone property. But yeah, that is correct. This would be a 42-acre portion of a larger conservation area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can close the hearing now?
If there are no further comments.
Could I ask a follow-up question? So,
Sir, your name again?
Jody Everett.
Come to the podium, please, sir, so we can hear you on the microphone.
Two things. You said that there was a restriction on the deed and it was for education purposes only. Can you clarify, does that include a parking lot for buses?
I'll defer.
Does that fall under educational purposes?
I'll defer to Dr. Willis on that. I would say.
I can answer that. I'll come to the microphone. The answer is yes, it does include parking for buses. When the Harrisburg School District owned it years ago, under the same deed, they also had their buses parked there. And in fact, there is macadam that exists now that the school district used years ago in '73 when it first received this property. So yes, buses are included.
But it was their buses, correct?
Correct.
Not privately owned buses.
buses, period, for the use of the children.
Second issue, you were talking about zoning islands. My personal property is zoned country residential. Could you tell me how many of those there are in the township?
I believe it's just the strip on Dean Road and Sowers Road might have it as well.
Correct. So would you call that a zoning island?
No, sir, that's a,
It's a legal determination that he doesn't need to make as relevant to the issue.
But you're saying that the zoning island is a rare occurrence, but I live on one.
No, it's not necessarily rare, it's not legal, under the municipality's planning
So
code.
my zoning isn't legal? I'm trying to
So-
clarify this. I'm not trying to be difficult because.
Right, so anomalies happen where, we saw, I don't know what the light pink is on the zoning in the township, but there's a light pink in the middle of that ag. That is open to, what is called spot zoning, which under the municipality's planning code is not necessarily legal since land use regulations are supposed to be uniform. It's open to challenge, but that doesn't mean that your property, if you think your property is spot zoned, you can then do whatever you want. You can.
No, I don't want to change it. I just don't want it to be changed. That's what I'm, like these folks, their property was rezoned without, any input from them, and that's what I'm worried about.
I would say that the residential country zoning district, you can see in light blue up there, is a full
Not
zoning
spot.
classification, and
There's a
in this
number of
case, we would be
parcels.
talking about like a 100-yard wide strip of land that would be zoned in a distinct zoning district from what's on both sides of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the hearing then at this time. The chair would consider a motion to adopt 2025-08 to amend the Susquehanna Township official zoning map. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Okay. We'll move on now to traffic studies. Okay. We'll ask traffic signal improvement study for Route 39 at Crooked Hill Road, Mr. Alex Greenwood.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. So we were asked to provide three proposals, well, actually several proposals, but three are on the agenda for this evening regarding some concerns the township had at several locations in different traffic situations at each one. So I'll go ahead and kind of tee these up. Our transportation leader, Eric Stump, is also here. He's the one that prepared and signed the proposals. Specific questions would be probably better asked or better answered by him than myself. So if you do have any questions, Eric's certainly here to entertain those. Beginning with the first one, traffic signal improvement study for Route 39 at Crooked Hill, right out here at the intersection. This proposal, the purpose of this proposal is to provide engineering services to review the need to add a left turn arrow from the southbound Crooked Hill to eastbound Route 39 at the intersection there. So if you're coming down or heading south on Crooked Hill, trying to make a left on the Lingelstown, the request from the township is that we explore the potential of putting a dedicated left turn arrow there at the intersection. So this would be a proposal to update the traffic signal permit plan if it's found to be warranted through the study that we performed. The second phase would be to go ahead and make the traffic signal modifications or modification to the traffic signal plan, and then present those to PennDOT for consideration. So the first phase would be a $5,100 fee plus reimbursable expenses, and then the subsequent phase, if deemed warranted, would be a $2,100 fee plus reimbursements.
Okay. Yes. Did you want to speak? Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. All right, so we'd be consideration for a motion to approve. We'd be looking for a motion for this.
So, okay, it's all second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Any questions or comments?
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Yes. So, the township is considering in its budget for '26, re-signalization, not re-signalization, coordinated signalization of all the lights going east and west on 39. And my expectation is that it will happen this coming year. It should have actually happened about 4 years ago. So we're here. If we spend that money, which is significantly more than the $7,000.
Sure.
Because it's got a, township owns all those lights and signals, but it's got to be done under PennDOT direction. Would this study or any reconfiguration of any of these traffic signals make any sense, considering that we anticipate coordinating all these lights in the next 8 to 12 months?
Correct. So, Eric, if you want to jump up and speak to this, I think one's going to affect the other, so I'll let Eric speak to it. He's far more educated on that than myself.
For the left turn arrow and the left turn advance coming off of Crooked Hill would be there, you know, if you were to implement the left turn arrow now, it would continue to be there after the adaptive system. If you elect not to, it would not be incorporated into the adaptive system. The adaptive system that's being installed next year will not affect the left turn hours or whether they have advances or not. It just may order the sequence of the left turn advances coming up and the timing itself.
So is that the same answer for all these intersections? One for Progress Avenue and Paxton Church, one for...
Progress and Paxton Church is not part of the adaptive system.
That's true, yes, sorry.
And then the one
But the one further down, Progress and 39.
Correct. It would not, so that's not a new left turn arrow, that's when it's already there.
Yes.
It's just a reinforcing signal head that's
Yes.
more visible. Again, that same.
So these aren't,
It does,
this is a zero-sum game. There's not going to be a negative effect. Okay. Thank you.
So there's no way it would impact the existing arrow that we're paying to put in, but it could impact the timing of it, the adaptive.
Correct. If it's implemented prior to the adaptive system, when the adaptive system is up and running, it'll be accounting for that phase being present and including that in its programming.
Well, then if the Progress Avenue one already has the left turn, just, should we wait? Because it's not gonna go away. Because with the adaptive system put in, it may adjust that left turn one way or the other to meet its goals under the adaptive to get everything uniform. So would it be better for that particular intersection to wait?
So the operation at Progress and Lincolnstown would not be changed at all. So exactly what's happening now is what's going to continue to happen until the adaptive system, and then it'll operate differently. But the proposal for that intersection is simply to add an additional signal head, not to change the timing at all. It's really just getting better visibility as you're coming southbound along Progress, exiting residential development. Making that left, you can see the left turn arrow is more clear for that approach than it is now.
The current northbound, so if you're on Progress Avenue at Lingelstown going north, so Susquehanna, Union, Greenview on your left-hand side, there's two left arrows, and correct me if I'm wrong. One is on.
No.
I'm sorry, going south.
Mr. Vice President, we're supposed to be talking about Crooked Hill, not Lincolnstown.
Yeah, this
Can we do it intersection by intersection?
Yeah,
Please.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, let's, because it does get confusing. You guys are moving around different intersections. Let's stick with item number 1, which is Route 39 and Crooked Hill Road. Listen, and then we'll move on to the next one after that, okay? But there is a question. I understand what you're saying. like, you know,
I think you answered my question. It's not gonna make a deleterious effect.
correct. Okay, I understand why you did it. Go ahead, sir.
And just to clarify, with the number one, if we don't do this and there's no left turn with that adaptive program being put in place hopefully next year, there won't be a left turn signal included with that because there wasn't one there previously.
That's
Correct? Isn't that what you're talking about?
So the adaptive system isn't going to reconfigure the lights as they are. It's just going to adjust the timing of all those lights and make it, try to push traffic through the whole Route 39 corridor more efficiently.
Everyone's questions answered? Okay, so we'd be moving on. I'll be looking,
We can take a vote on the motion.
yes. For item number one.
Do we have a vote?
We know we had a motion in a second.
We had a motion and a second. Okay, we had comments. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Moving on to traffic signal improvement study for Route 39 and Progress Avenue.
Correct. So the township's requested the addition of an overhead left turn arrow for the southbound turning movement from Progress Avenue onto eastbound Route 39. HRG will prepare a traffic signal application in PennDOT's e-permitting system and prepare a TE 160 form for the township signature and submission to PennDOT. The cost for this effort would be a $2,220 fee plus reimbursable expenses. And this is, again, in regards, so if you're heading south across the intersection, there was some concern about the visibility of the existing left turn arrows to go east onto Lingostown Road. So this would just be to add another light head, so that the left turn arrow already exists. There's two of them, I believe. Is it two existing there?
No, there's
I'm going
There's
south.
one, I know there's one on the other, opposite side of the road, so this would be to add an overhead left turn arrow to just increase visibility.
Very good. Okay. Is there a motion?
So
moved.
Second.
Who moved?
He didn't.
Okay, you got that, Mr. Norfolk?
Okay.
Commissioner Norfolk?
Alright.
And number two would be Commissioner Cross.
Got it.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a question. The problem my constituents are having with that light is that the left turn signal going southbound is on for such a short period of time that only one or two cars can get across that intersection. And at the same time, the left turn signal coming the other way runs for a pretty extensive time because there's a lot more traffic there. And I've always wondered why do not they sync up those two left turns? Because there's no other traffic going. And so I would like to see, and I don't know if this is in the purview of what we're talking about, but I would like to see the length of that left turn synced up with the left turn coming the other way, because sometimes people sit through 2-3 changes of that lane.
So the intent there is that if you were extending that left turn arrow coming southbound, that would be less time that's allocated to the northbound through movement and right turn movement onto eastbound 39. Off the top of my head, I don't know if the traffic volumes for that right turn movement or the through movement there are heavy enough that we could steal some time from that and extend that left turn arrow. Just being familiar with the intersection, I know that northbound left coming off Progress.
There's 2 lanes and it's a fairly long light. You get a lot of cars through there. But coming the other way, it's just really tricky. And I think that we do need the second arrow. I totally agree with that idea, because the arrow that's there is on a pole in the corner, which is not where people are really looking for a light in most cases. So I agree with that idea, but the complaint that I get constantly is, why is that light so short? Why do I have to, 2 cars at a time go through that? It just seems.
Is there a certain time of day that it's worse, whether it be in the morning as people are leaving, or?
Yeah, I don't really know that, and I use that late a lot, but it's usually during the day.
But increasing that left turning time for those folks shouldn't impact traffic wanting to go straight. They couldn't do that anyway because of the other direction where you got two left turns at the same time. So through traffic wouldn't be an issue, and people can still turn right at the intersection if it's available.
So when the northbound left turn lanes are going, the southbound left goes as well, but then that southbound left can end early, when northbound through and right can start moving while the northbound left is still going. I think that's what would be.
Yeah, northbound, they could go straight or could make, now they get the green light, while the green light left turn going onto Linglestone from Progress stays longer, but because where there's more traffic coming from that direction on Progress.
Can you just adjust the times?
We can certainly look at adjusting the times there. Again, the more data we have, we didn't didn't include traffic counts or analysis or even necessarily field views of this one. But if we had data, we know we can find out about switching some. And again, we have some traffic data from prior studies. We can look at those results and see if it makes sense to switch around a little bit.
It would seem that you had 3 or 4 seconds, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, I do have a comment.
How do you think that's gonna be affected by the
Public comment.
So,
On this item, it's not.
yeah, Mr. Vice President, so I believe the public comment that earlier was only for non-agenda items, and I don't know that it was identified as for agenda items.
It is a different agenda item.
Did we move, we moved in second on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just gonna add some in-person traffic study because I live on Dean Road. And northbound progress.
Come to the podium, sir.
Northbound progress routinely backs up.
State your name again, sir.
Jody Everly, 2812 Dean Road.
Thank you.
Both of those intersections routinely back up very far on progress there. And I just want to know if, first of all, I'm glad you're getting the adaptive system. That's wonderful. Second of all, will your traffic study extend down progress to, say, Cone Road? Because we're at a point where Paxton Church, from Paxton Church, it backs up almost all the way down to Cone Road.
Yeah, this isn't a traffic study, this is merely just doing a signal modification.
So what you were asking, if you make that light longer, it's gonna compound that traffic. It's a no-win game here. And I understand sitting through 3 light cycles, because I live in that area. I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's a no-win game. If you extend that turn lane, that backup on progress is just gonna get longer. That's all I wanted to add.
Now, the adaptive system should be looking at reallocating that green time, whether it be to the southbound left coming out of the neighborhood or northbound through right. It should be switching between there once that's operating. So it should be extending the left turn arrow when there's cars there when it's needed.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carried. Now we're going on to traffic signal improvement study for Progress Avenue and Paxton Church Road.
The township has requested an evaluation to determine if split phasing may be appropriate, where eastbound Paxton Church Road would have a green indication unopposed, then westbound Paxton Church Road would have a green indication unopposed, so countering each other. HRG proposes a traffic signal evaluation to be completed to determine the impact of split phase operation on intersection delays and queuing. The evaluation will require traffic counts and engineering analysis to support the potential modification. The analysis will be conducted for existing traffic volumes without future year projections. For this effort, it's similar to the first one we discussed. So the first phase would be the investigation and the study, which would be a $4,500 fee. If the results of the study
determined that, adjustments to the signals that are warranted, the update to the traffic signal plan and submission to PennDOT would be the subsequent phase 2, $2,600.
Okay.
And Eric can certainly more eloquently describe what we mean by split phasing if you have questions.
So I move to approve.
Okay, so it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, I'd like an explanation of what split
Split
phase.
phase. I figured you might.
So essentially, we're talking about changing the timings on the side streets. So Progress would essentially stay as it is now. But the side street approaches up Paxton Church Road, one side would turn green and it would have an arrow. You could turn left, go through, or turn right. And then that would go yellow, red for the entire approach, and then the other side would go. And again, you would have an arrow for that side, turn left, through, or right, completely unopposed. So you would have one side have green, go yellow, red, then the other side have green, yellow, red, and then go back to Progress Avenue.
And what's it do now? Because there's a red light there now.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right now, I'm trying to remember if there's even an arrow there.
There
is.
Yeah, I live real close.
So right now, those arrows would come up first, you can make the left at the same time, and then it turns into a green ball. You can still make the left if there's nobody coming,
Yeah.
and you can go and the through and right movements open up.
The issue with this one is, as you're approaching the intersection with Progress Avenue on both sides, it comes up to a hill. So once you get up there, your sight distance across the intersection is very
Yeah,
limited.
potential for an accident
Right,
because of
exactly.
the.
Right.
So this is more of a safety improvement than it is a capacity adding improvement. It's just protecting that left turn movement so that, if they're limited sight distance, they're able to make their left unopposed on both sides.
Yeah, that's true, because I don't even use that light. I live right down the street. I go up by the church and go up that way. I avoid that intersection because to me it's dangerous.
Yeah, you have to be pretty well into the intersection to see if you have opposing traffic.
I avoid it a lot.
Okay. Yep. Moved and second, correct?
Yep.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yep. Moving on. Letter J, actions or ordinance, resolutions, contracts, subdivision, and land development plans and general business. Mr. Webb, how you doing, sir?
Good evening again. For you is our HVAC, electrical, and plumbing service providers. We're seeking to enter into standardized agreement for preventative and emergency HVAC, electrical, and plumbing services. We provided quotes from CF Acre, South Mountain Mechanical, Riverview Mechanical, and HB McClure. If you would consider the approval of Riverview Mechanical for HVAC and plumbing services and South Mountain Mechanical for electrical services.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. Any questions or comments?
Yes, sir. In looking them over, there was quite a spread between some of the bids that you got. Are you satisfied, after looking those over, that the services provided by the low bidder are comparable or equal to the others?
Yes, the two of the smaller bids, Riverview and South Mountain, they're the smaller guys. So they have a little bit more, I think, wiggle room. But we met with Riverview here and South Mountain here to go over our systems for them to look at everything, and we were impressed, so.
Okay.
We agreed for a one-year agreement, so if this time comes next year, we're not happy with what we have, we can certainly do this all over again.
Thanks.
Been moved and second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Consent agenda. Andrew, everybody, we want to table that, okay.
Motion to table.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Next is any old business? Seeing none, move on. Any new business? Seeing none. Commissioner comments? Carl? Motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
It's been moved and second. Any questions or comments? On the motion to adjourn? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.